Hello everyone, welcome to the Sportiest stream tonight. We've got some matches for you from the Blackline Championship Series. We haven't seen this league in a little bit, surprisingly, because we usually cover this league a ton here, but yeah, I didn't have any matches last week from Blackline. So this week, I've already gone and make sure we have two tonight. Our schedule is full of elimination matchups. First up is New Age Wolves taking on Team Ignition Academy. Later on, it'll be Cloudy Blue, Golden Hour Esports Black. So both these sides, some pretty important matches. Best of fives for both these matches. The lower bracket is pretty rough in the Blackline Championship Series. You lose, and you don't have that many lives left. So for a lot of these teams, you have to kind of adjust from what is best of 7 upper bracket, a best of 5 lower bracket. And again, you really don't put yourself in an easy position here when stuck down here. But for New Age Wolves, Team Ignition Academy, two teams we've seen on this stream before. They're gonna have to get used to it because for them, in the Academy division, they just so happen to find themselves as teams who lost early in that bracket. Have to climb their way back. Now again, welcome to everybody in. My name's Sporty FC. Nice to see you all here tonight. Yeah, everybody is doing well here. We're just looking to get this series underway as soon as we can, but let's take a look at that bracket actually while we are waiting at it here. Again, as I mentioned, lower bracket, best of 5s here. This is the only round for the best of 5. Actually, you'll see later on when we go to the Contender Series, they have more rounds in lower bracket that are best of 5s. They also have more lower bracket rounds in general. So, again, for these teams, you're in a position where the winner of this will play against FFE Triple OG, but them again, this is a weird match. It's a best of 5, and you'll need to win 3 times. But it also means you could lose 3 times, and that is it for your season. For both these sides, they've had decently successful seasons already. Ignition Academy with a record of 5-2 actually started off their season incredibly well with 5 straight wins. Their last 2 weeks though have been rough because the Ecliptic Soul and Sky vs Black, both of those being losses. But for them, they've struggled, and then obviously I should say the last 3 weeks actually, because those are the 2 weeks before. Last week they just played against New Age Mavericks and lost in a 4-0 sweep. So this team struggled recently. I don't know what's happened at the tail end of their season, but for the New Age Wolves side, their season was a 6-1 record. They only lost coming in week 1 against FFE Splode, who aren't even in this playoff bracket. But for them, much the same as their start. They were able to win round 1 against Milky Militia Scarlet, but they lost to Ecliptic Soul, and that means while they do have the advantage in this matchup, the higher seed, they still have to play in round 1. You don't really get to this round easily. The only way you can do it is by losing to a really good team and by being a good team yourself. So again, it's not an awkward situation, but a lot of times actually the 4th seeds from different groups have actually been the ones, not 4th seeds, sorry. A lot of times the teams that have lost early have actually been the ones to win. We've seen that in this back with Milky Militia Scarlet winning against Sky Visors Black, but that was a forfeit. So we'll see how these teams play here tonight in this best of 5. And speaking of these teams, here are these teams here, both represented on this screen right now. New Age Wolves, our New Age Gaming Organization, Ignition Academy. Now of the Team Ignition organization, again, we've usually seen that their main team of Cody playing, but obviously this one a little different. As hello in chat, Killer Eagle, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hopefully you're doing well here. As again we've seen this Ignition Academy side. Again, they've had a couple weeks of losses so far. So for them, they need to turn things around because this is the playoff bracket, and they only have this lower bracket to play in now. So they're in a precarious situation. New Age Wolves again for them aren't used to losing. Only lost in week 1, and then ever since then they've won every single match after that. But unfortunately for them, they're in a position where they don't get that bye. They then lose in the second round, and unfortunately losing the second round is as good as losing in the first round of that upper bracket. Play in the first round of the lower bracket, and in these best of 5s. So both these teams, this is going to be a test of how much do they really want this playoff bracket. How much do they really want to be here? That's what's going to be tested here tonight for these two teams. We'll see that again later on when we take a look at our upcoming matchup with Cloudy Blue here taking on Golden Hour Esports Black. But again, this matchup, a test for these Academy Series level teams. And if you guys don't know what the Academy Series is, this is around Champ 1 to Champ 3. Sometimes you'll see a GC1 in this league, but it's around Champ 2, Champ 3. This is their Champ League. Of course, We'll go over then to the Contenders Division, which is Champ 3 to GC2. And so again, we'll just be waiting on these teams to get ready to join on in for this series here. Ignition's already in. They got Effico, Atomic Wrist, and Savage jumping in. New Age Wolves will see who represents them here tonight, but wouldn't be surprised if it's Gen, Plugs, and Killer Eagle. That is generally their starting roster, but and I would say the players I'm most used to. These guys used to be on Knights of Chaos in the past, so that's a pretty big sized org. I remember that org. It was a good org. These guys were very solid players on that org. They were on various different teams at different times, but together, so far their season's been good. But this playoff bracket did not start off the way they wanted it to. A loss in that upper round 2, and again, you lose in the winners bracket. You gotta go to the losers bracket, and you gotta win from there on out. So these teams are long lower brackets, and rarely do teams get to make really long lower bracket runs. But with the right amount of momentum, with the strong enough kind of force to keep yourself going, you will see some teams make some really incredible lower bracket runs in this Blackline Championship Series. One of the fun things about their final bracket, even though I'm not a big fan of the Double Limb, lower bracket runs are fun to watch. So maybe we'll see the start of one here for either these sides. Is 1 second. That, of course, loves to have issues with me. This is my charging cord, by the way. This headset's actually wireless. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that, everybody. As again, we'll get these teams in. Actually, it's gonna be Gen, Killer Eagle, and Dumb. Dumb's playing, so it's Dumb is in the match. So a little different than what I thought it would be for New Age, but admittedly, for a team again that just lost in that upper bracket, so the question kind of what's happening here. Mostly for both these sides, be a lot of questions. This is a best of 5 series, by the way. I think I probably mentioned it, but this is best of 5. So while the majority of this bracket, everything in the upper bracket and most of the lower bracket matches are best of 7, this is not. This is best of 5. This is losers round 1. So these teams have a long road to go before they even think about, you know, that championship matchup. First off, they just got to think of this series here. And we'll just get these teams in as soon as we can here. It seems like we're having some slight issues with one of these teams. But as soon as we get confirmation that they're all ready, we'll be good to get things started. As Dumb plays, thank you for the follow, Dumb. Welcome in. Good luck in your matchup. And in fact, good luck to both these teams. We've seen them both on the stream. I like both these teams, but unfortunately, only one of these two teams can stay alive here in the Academy Series, the Blackline Championship Series. A best of 5 matchup. New Age Wolves on the blue, Team Ignition Academy on the orange. And throughout these sides, a best of 5 series to keep your playoff hopes alive. Both these teams have been some of the stronger teams in their groups, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it out of winners round 2, and now they play against each other. Ignition didn't even get to winners round 2, so for them, their season has been on a downhill spiral. New Age Wolves, a hiccup last week, one that they aren't generally used to, and they weren't, I don't think, prepared for that early on. Playoffs are just such an interesting points in this, you know, season for the Blackline Championship Series. It's so long; it usually lasts over a couple weeks, and you usually see some incredible performances in this playoff bracket. All times, the usual suspects being strong, but who knows? You see an upset, you see a win that comes out of nowhere, and it can change this whole bracket around. It can change the team's season around, especially at some of the higher rank levels, actually, where there's a lot more teams in the playoff bracket compared to the number of teams total. I mean, these brackets are like 16 out of the top 20 teams in a group, so, you know, again, it's one of those things where this is one of the tougher brackets actually to get into in the Academy Series, with it being only half of the teams in the whole season making it in. But what it makes up for and being tough to get into, it's quite an interesting bracket to watch because it is not a super long bracket, meaning that for either of these sides, a lower bracket run is very possible, but so far they're having to deal with that pressure there from the New Age Wolves. Killer Eagle challenged by Effico, who is also in the ATS on Team C. We might see them later this week. Savage, actually, his teammate is also on Team C for ATS Ascension Cup. Again, that's a whole different league, but again, we might be seeing them play later on. So far, this matchup, again, a best of 5, a playoff run for both these sides. It may end short here for either one of them. And Ignition Academy, they come in not as the favorites in this matchup. They lost in round 1 in the upper bracket. They lost in a 4-0 sweep to New Age Mavericks, so... And they're having some issues with playing against New Age teams. There's a lot of them in this bracket. I believe there's at least 3. There might be even more than that. There might be like 4 or 5 teams New Age in this Academy series. I don't remember exactly how many, but... Ignition's had to face a good amount of them. Unfortunately, it might be New Age that puts the end to this team's season. Only one of 2 teams on Ignition in the Blackline Championship Series, and of both those teams, both of them are in the lower bracket already, so, and both of them had decent seasons, the other one being obviously Team Ignition in the Contenders Series. They also lost, I believe, their first round, so, yeah, Ignition as an org not having great success so far, but maybe they will here on that play. Dumb will clear it out. We're already more than halfway through this game, and still no goals from either side. It's New Age Wolves who have brought that aggression, have brought that pace. What I like a lot about them is they are not ones to give space up. They're not ones to take their time. They will suffocate here. They're going to try to close this gap quickly, and they may have done so here because Kamikaze Mook will put in his team's first. Just great awareness from Killer Eagle. Knows that both Ignition players and Atomic Wrist and Epico are jumping. He knows the only one back there is Savage, and he'll go for the demo. He'll get him out, and it's New Age Wolves will take that first goal because of it. The Eagle was probably most recognizably on Strikers of Chaos Crimson in the past, and bonus inside from Strikers of Chaos Emerald, and then later on Strikers Gold. Plugs obviously is on this team. He was probably most recognizable on the Knights of Chaos main roster. Kamikaze Mook, he's actually a newer player. He's one that I don't think was ever on Knights of Chaos to begin with. At least not a team I knew of. But right now, he is bringing some great offense as Killer Eagle right now. I mentioned him first, but he will put in this play as the hook shot from the corner catches everybody from Ignition Academy waiting. And it's a 2-0 lead for the New Age side as it's Ignition who have come out slow. Again, they've had 3 straight weeks of rough loss after tough loss, and so many teams, they have downticks at the end of their season. This is the last time you want to see a downtick if you're Team Ignition, and unfortunately, it's only going to steamroll into more and more. Dumb now will put in a third for New Age Wolves. All of a sudden, the goals are falling through for New Age, one after the other after the other. 3 goals for the New Age side, and it's Ignition Academy right now who have had to feel the brunt of every single one of them. Ignition Academy, as a team, have dealt with tough playoff losses on the stream before. Probably the last time we saw them ever go out of the playoff bracket was in the Skyward Series, I think a little while ago. They were in that, in I believe Season 2 when they played in the All-Star Division. Unfortunately for them, that one was one where they went out of the wild card in the first round, so... Again, this is a team that's had its issues with the playoff bracket. It's had its issues when the pressure is really on them. Unfortunately, it feels like that pressure is still here for this New Age... Sorry, for this Ignition side. New Age has done well at just utilizing it. Now, only 30 seconds left. New Age wants a 4th goal, but won't get one on that play. Savage, dunked by Dumb, but he will be bumped out of line. Ignition, Ithaca off the back wall. Kamikaze Mook will clear it as Atomic Wrist was looking for the dunk. New Age Wolves giving a path to victory here in game number 1. It's Dumb. This one off the back wall looking for goal number 4, but New Age don't need it. They're doing well just keeping the ball away, and this one will fall away from them. It's game 1 to New Age, though. Their series starts off well, and because it's the best of 5, they only need 2 more wins to move on in this lower bracket. A shutout. Team Ignition Academy were lackluster on offense and just couldn't put in the shots, couldn't put in goals. It felt like a team that couldn't win the possession. New Age Wolves are a pretty solid team when it comes to holding that midfield. Ignition Academy generally can do well at overpowering teams that way, but today it doesn't seem like it's one where they're going to be successful like that. One thing maybe we could see more from Ignition would be those demos. We saw New Age Wolves use them to good use, and for Ignition, they could use it the same exact way here. So far, will not work for them. as we go into game number 2. New Age, Wolves, started off that game 1 with a bit of a slow pace, but eventually they would find what they needed. And now in game number 2 for Ignition Academy, they need to be the ones who are able to step up to that pressure. This New Age side isn't going to slow down. This Ignition side needs to pick up their pace in response, and so far they're dealing with those shots from New Age, but they have not been strong enough. Again, like last game, it might start off very slow for these sides, just trying to feel each other out, wait for the plays to work in their favor. But maybe they won't need it. It's off the crossbar. Atomic Wrist shot straight on, and it will fall its way in. Ignition Academy will lead. It was an awkward play in front. New Age were just not positioned on the back wall there. So often at this level, players just don't sit there. They don't think about sitting there. And it will cost you in the playoff bracket because so many teams at this level, especially as the season's gone on, has gotten better and better at reading those aerial plays and getting to the back wall. If you don't have back wall defense, you're not winning this circuit, that's for sure. New Age, maybe a bit of an issue here for them, and a little bit of a weakness on their side in that back wall because really don't want to show it here. Here comes Killer Eagle looking for a response in the midfield for Kamikaze Moog. And that's will fall in. Off the back wall this time on the Ignition side, and again, nobody there to defend it. As Ignition right now have taken the ball back, and so far we've seen a lot of back and forth in this game. It wasn't so much last game, it was a lot of New Age Wolves just doing it and keeping the possession. But right now Ignition brought a response as a great save from Killer Eagle. He was trapped on the goal line. He didn't make life easy for him there, sitting so far back, and it gave Ignition Academy so much room to work with, and they worked with it very well there. You saw Ethico take up the air dribble, but it's New Age with Killer Eagle again bringing some solid defense, and he's always been known for defense on the teams he's been on. He's definitely not a player who's just aggressive or just one way. I feel like a lot of these players who came from Knights of Chaos are known for offense, but a lot of other teams that weren't the Knights of Chaos main team are actually quite defensive in nature. Again, you're seeing a lot of those players still be defensive, still allow their teams to have a strong defensive backline even today. Right now, pressure of Ignition Academy definitely showing up a lot more in this game. And this is a little more how this team played in the regular season. Very shot heavy, very just fast in how they wanted to make their plays happen. Speed wasn't the only thing they were good at, but it was definitely something that they were really good at compared to other teams. But I've missed off the back wall. Killer Eagle will score goal number 2 for New Age. And, well, maybe I have to go a little too fast going to that jump because that's one. If he just waits, he gets an easy touch there. He rushed it. He tried to get a quick clear out. And it's New Age Wolves who will capitalize. Nice thing is, there's still 2 minutes left on Ignition Academy looking to try to tie things up quickly. Early chance stopped by Kamikaze Mook, and is New Age who will bring offense again as Ethico's missed it! It's Kamikaze Mook with his second, and New Age Wolves are starting to run away with it here. Ignition Academy, I just don't know what's happened here, and Ethico, did he try to pre-jump that play? I don't have a clue of what he was trying to find there, but whatever it was, it didn't work for them. It's an easy goal for New Age, one that really wasn't deserved from how they were playing. A free one given up by Ignition, and New Age will take it, that's for sure. A little bit of insurance never hurt them here, and in fact, last game, they felt they were most comfortable when they had that insurance. a lot often teams, it's not that goal that takes the lead that's the important one. It's the goal after that that's really quite important for them. It's the one that's the one that gives them the confidence that they are ahead, that they can play a little bit more aggressive, that they can play a little more relaxed and still be just fine. New Age, again, goal number 3 coming from Kamikaze Mook. Should be the goal that allows them that breathing room here against Ignition, as now he looks for another one. The goal line will keep it out. It's Ignition. Finds his way through the midfield, but dumb to the net. Killer Eagle, I think, was looking for a bump there, but and a boost to get anything. It is Ignition just trying to find some space, but every touch of the midfield has a New Age Wolves response to it. The back pass to Kamikaze Mook. A long chip will force Team Ignition to jump up and waste even more time. Infield, dumb to shoot it on, but Savage will wait there. Ignition playing second best, but maybe this chance is theirs. Atomic Wrist saved by Kamikaze Mook. New Age Wolves will clear that ball away. As Atomic. Savage to the corner. New Age Wolves continuing to waste time from Team Ignition Academy's game here. And Ignition are down by 2. They need to score, but they won't get offense. New Age Wolves will take match point. 1 game away from moving on in this lower bracket. And for Ignition, if they do lose in a sweep, it doesn't just mean that their season is over. It adds so much more to how they've been playing. It would be their 4th straight loss of the season. I think it would be at least their 7th straight game loss of the season. Week 7 they lost to Ecliptic Soul 3-1, so at least 8 straight losses in games. But Ignition Academy, again, they have had a tough season. And unfortunately for them, that season, while it has been so hopeful at times, may be nearing its close. Age Wolves only need 1 more game, and with the kind of shooting accuracy and offense we saw from them, 10 shots to 7 this game, they're, that's better team. They're edging out Ignition Academy by, not a lot, but it is enough here that it is noticeable on the scoreline. Ignition right now, I think going for some card change, but nobody popping out here. It's still the same 3 players, but I think they know just as much as anyone how tough their season may be here. Game number 3. New Age Wolves on the verge of sweeping Ignition Academy out of the playoff bracket. From having such a successful season so far, this would be a tremendously terrible way to end it. But it may end here. Ethico. That one off the back wall. Jumping is Savage there, and offense falling in place for Ignition Academy at the Atomic Wrist. Trying to keep their season alive off the crossbar, and it will be cleared by Kamikaze Mook. Ignition Academy were the ones that scored first last game, so I was surprised to see them try to do that same thing here. Killer Eagle. As I do see some follows coming in here on the stream from Shark Boy and Igni SP. Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome to Splitty Stream. We're in game number 3 of New Age Wolves. Team Ignition Academy and New Age. A chance to knock Ignition Academy out of the playoff bracket here. Might become dangerous here because New Age Wolves only 1 game away. Ignition Academy again in the losers bracket. If they're out, if they lose, their season's over. But right now, they're holding on dearly to that defense. Killer Eagle now. Look in the midfield. It will be stops there. Short of the goal now. Dom up the sidewall. Second touch off the corner. Eftico will get there quickly. As now Kamikaze Mook to the back wall. Maybe a second touch. He was looking for it there as well. But Eftico will keep it away. New Age Wolves. And Ignition feels like already our most even game so far. Often we've just seen New Age Wolves run away once they score a goal, and Ignition, they've done well here to really, shut them down for offensive chances. Still, Ignition, they have not scored themselves just yet. Maybe this is their chance, but again, New Age just there to attack. As Dumb flicks it ahead, will be stopped initially by Effico as one of the Wolves really pushing up all that aggressively, but here comes Killer Eagle. That one's going into the net. Savage will save. Triple commit here from Ignition Academy, but that ball will be kept wide. New Age Wolves will continue their offense. Kamikaze Mook in the midfield. Re-clear for Savage as Effico with a doink. Will hit that ball away, and Ignition with some time to breathe. Out there on offense, but it won't be much time, because here comes the Wolves looking to attack right back. Effico gonna keep the offense alive for Ignition. Great dribble, but bumped out, and a double commit will mean New Age Wolves will be there next. One touch and a shot to the net, but Atomic Wrist will jump up there and reach it. As now inside the final 2 minutes. Still no goals as both these sides wrestling for control. But it does feel like it's moving more and more in the way of New Age every single play. Ignition can 100% pull this back if they find the offense. And maybe this is it, but Atomic Wrist will not be able to beat the corner bounce. New Age can wait a little bit more on defenses. Killer Eagle, long clear. Savage trying to reach it. Killer Eagle still shooting. Atomic Wrist will make the save, but he is demoed out. Kamikaze Mook. Now to Dom. That one going to net, but Effico will get there in time, and he'll keep Ignition in this one. He'll keep this game tied as an infield pass. Atomic Wrist, bump in front. He's got the dunk, and Ignition Academy have found a breakthrough chance. It comes from Effico. Not done with the flick. You'll get the bump on it too. And that play will fall in their favor. What a play. What a start for Ignition in this game. Ironically, it's a very late start, though, because with a minute to go, there's not much time left for New Age as an infield pass just goes awry. Effico. The corner. Kamikaze Mook. Good away by Effico. It's New Age Wolves. Offense potential, but no offense just yet. Time running out for the New Age side, but reminder, they're the ones leading for Ignition. This is must-win territory. For New Age, they're not the ones under the pressure still, but they'd love to end the series here in 3 games straight. Kamikaze Mook now finds Dom as a team bump from New Age will stop that play short. Ignition keeping the ball, looking to try to take goal number 2 and secure this game for them. Their season's still, at least for them, far from over, but this game is nearing its final seconds. New Age. I'm gonna look for something at 0 seconds, it'll be Dumb. Yeah, off the ceiling, infield, but nobody there, and that ball is gonna hit the ground. Game number 3 will go to Ignition Academy. Their season stays alive. But we will go to game number 4, and again, at least for Ignition, they stay alive still. As I did see a little drink break in there, thank you for reading that. I actually need that. My voice is a little bit dry right now. Game 4, New Age Wolves. Still, again, they have a chance to end Ignition Academy's season right here, but Ignition, only 1 goal scored in game 1, but their defense held strong. I just don't think it's going to be consistent, though. They need to find more on offense if they really want to be the team that's going to take this series, because at some point, New Age is going to score a goal. Ignition in a position where, for them, they're going to score first, actually. That is strange from New Age, because that is a completely blatant miscommunication, as a Killer Eagle and Kamikaze need to communicate there. They don't, though. That's an easy one for Ignition. They won't be missing that shot, and again, I think for them, they need to score more than just one goal a game here to be successful, because against New Age will score at some point. They're going to find goals. It's just how they've been playing the series and how Ignition have been playing. It seems unlikely Ignition can shut them out for a very long amount of time here. And maybe they'll look to save here. Great save from Atomic Wrist and Ignition Academy right now. Ooh, an incredible first chance from the Wolves here, but Wolves will have to sit back a little bit, and their pressure will die out after that first chance. They can't get much more than that, and it's a far cry from what we saw earlier from this team in these games where they had a lot more time to get multiple shots on that net. They aren't getting that time anymore, and they're definitely not getting that same kind of spacing either. Ignition just continuing to play close, to press upward. New Age, they're a team that just doesn't like to play up that high. And it means that it's going to be Ignition who will win a lot on the space when they're playing defense. And for New Age, it feels a bit timid in that sense that they aren't challenging that early. They will hear a save from Savage, though. Keep it out as Ignition, again, not without some scary chances against them. New Age got an ample response, but still no goal to be at the end of that response. Kamikaze Mook. That one towards the net. Efiko will not get it. Off the back wall. Atomic Wrist won't have. Dumb's miss. Nobody wants the ball from New Age. And that really should be tied at this point, but two players from New Age missed the ball. And Ignition Academy will definitely be thankful. That's really should not have been that easy for them. And now miss from Dumb. Chance on. Savage will not have the net. Ignition now, that was their chance to score an open net, but again, they also cannot make it. This game will stay at that 1-0 scoreline that Ignition so far safeguarded. Since those first few seconds in this game when they did get it, just off a simple mistake from New Age. Oh how much one mistake can really change a game around here. Might even be what's the goal that defines this game if Ignition somehow keep this one scoreless like they did the last game. With how desperate New Age Wolves are to get a goal, didn't seem all that unsurprising. Right now it's New Age who have brought the offense. Savage though, under Kamikaze Mook, Atomic Wrist. Only a single touch, but it's Killer Eagle who's all alone on the defense to get that save. And right now for New Age, again, there's still a lack of aggression from this team, a lack of willing to challenge early. So much of what they're doing is they're waiting far back and they're jumping into these plays, and it's just a kind of style that is so easy to predict, so easy to get around. It gives Ignition all this time to work with, and New Age Wolves, it gives them very little opportunities to actually be able to challenge all that early. As a team, they need to be more willing to just play for challenges, play aggressively on defense. Able to find success as now here's a chance there. Early challenge, but it will not go in as it was Dumb who was looking for the shot. Now Kamikaze in the midfield. The bouncing ball will be cleared by Efiko. New Age Wolves will look to be the next ones to it. That ball sent away. Kamikaze Mook. Challenged by Savage, and will be Dumb again. Killer Eagle. Out to the sidewall. It's Efiko. Challenge there as Dumb is off his own back wall. New Age Wolves not playing very safely, but at this point they don't have much of an option. In game number 4, down a goal, knowing that Ignition Academy can make a reverse sweep. I think New Age Wolves do anything at this point to tie this game up, but unfortunately for them, they have not found their way near that net. As Dumb, with all the boost in the tank, gonna clear. Atomic Wrist will just fire that one in. Ignition Academy have answered back. New Age took the first 2 games, and now it's Ignition's turn to try to do the exact same on the other side of the field. A reverse sweep. It's not even out of the cards at this point. It's quite likely. New Age Wolves have not scored since game number 2. Their offense has fallen apart. They've gotten just a little too jumpy when it comes to getting into these challenges, and unfortunately for them, it's going to lead this series to Champions Field, to the final game of it. A reminder, the loser of this series is out for the season, so for both of these teams, this game literally has the season on the line. In the lower bracket, with all the pressure on you, we go to Champions Field, and for New Age Wolves, this is about the last place you want to be in right now. You're getting off to such a good start. Just look at the shots they had. It's 10-4, and yet none of their shots went in. It's a testament to the Ignition Academy defense. They got 6 saves, but that still leaves 4 shots accounted for New Age. And I don't know, offense has just been one where they haven't been willing to challenge early, and that's giving Ignition Academy space. They are challenging earlier. That's the difference between these teams, is how willing they are to challenge aggressively. Ignition's doing it. New Age Wolves don't want to do it. And for New Age Wolves, if they haven't learned already, they're going to learn it soon. They need to challenge very early if they want anything to go their way. Unfortunately for them, they have to have devised a game plan by this point. If I don't, this Champions Field matchup will be quite tough for them. Again, with this being the only best-of-5 round in this lower bracket for the Academy series. And winner of this will also be able to play the best-of-7s again, so see how that goes. Is both these teams getting in here. A reverse sweep, not unlikely. We've seen it so often in the stream before. But with the playoff on the line, with the playoffs, with the whole season resting on it, it doesn't get much more stressful than this. Ignition Academy were down 0-2 in the series. Now they have a chance to win and move on and knock New Age Wolves out. It all comes down to this game, this matchup, this ending. And Champions Field, the pressure is on for these teams to complete the series, to end it in their favor. That is something that is a lot easier said than done. We continue on. Killer Eagle off the sidewall. The pinch in front. Plugs will be saved away by Atomic Wrist. And New Age Wolves with the early offense. Now Atomic Wrist himself shooting for net off the crossbar, but it is wide. A follow-up shot that will also be high of the net. And New Age Wolves, while they are panicking on that goal line, will clear that ball eventually. Great defense already, but that crossbar keeps Ignition Academy out from scoring first. Again, they've kept New Age Wolves to 0 goals in the last 10 minutes. They'll look to keep it that way for as long as they can, because these margins they're winning by are not much. In Game 5, usually these games are quite low scoring, so defense really does do everything for you here. It's Killer Eagle. Cleared back in by Effico. Dumb to Killer Eagle. Will send that ball out. We've had 24 best-of-5 reverse sweeps on the stream, and it's over 2 years of history of streaming Rocket League esports action. Is this number 25? Ignition Academy would love to make it so. It's just not an easy to say thing here, as the pressure again is on them. As an Auric, Ignition have been at the receiving hand and in the winning parts of reverse sweeps against New Age Wolves. They're the ones with the momentum, but they're also the ones playing with the defense right now. They have not been able to escape. It's New Age looking to score here for the first time and end this goal drought. We're halfway through the game, still no goals for either side. Killer Eagle, the dribble, he's got some pretty good dribble plays, but that will not be one of his better ones, as he will just lose the handle of it. Another clear, Dumb. Off the sidewall, Effico. Picking up with it, it will be challenged by Killer Eagle. Is that going to net? Bugs will wait there. Rage Wolves also not a surprise. They've made changes throughout this. They've made I think they've made changes throughout this series. I can't speak. That's how stressed this is for me, watching the series, and I'm not one of the ones who's playing in it. Again, we've seen you know, all of the players for New Age Wolves at one point, except for Jen, playing in this matchup. They made a change before this game. They're sticking to it right now, but it has worked. It's stopped Ignition Academy from scoring, you know, as early, as easily. Really does allow this one to be that close, and so far for both these sides, I think they're fine with the close matchup. It keeps them in it, it keeps their playoff hopes alive. Maybe there's a chance to backflip in the net, but no shot from Killer Eagle. Ignition Academy also demos from Ethico. He has gone ham against these New Age Wolves players. Now a breakaway chance, but a big dunk from Dumb. Atomic Wrist will move his way back. That initial play's off target, and it will be cleared away by Atomic Wrist. Scary signs for Ignition Academy. They all pushed up aggressively there. But it's New Age Wolves who couldn't capitalize on it. They'll be the ones sent back. The bad touch from Plugs is going to net. New Age Wolves will fear the danger, but won't be able to get that ball out initially. Here comes Dumb. Less than a minute to go. One goal can determine this game, and maybe this is it, but it's cleared out by Plugs. Ethico challenged away. New Age Wolves with offensive play, and it's Dumb plays to find the near post. New Age Wolves will score first with 39 seconds left. Such a tight angle for Dumb, but he makes it work, and when the pressure's on, when the lights of Champions Field are shining on you, that is your time to play. Dumb finds the shot that may send his team further in this bracket, that may deny that reverse sweep from Ignition Academy. But Ignition, the other way. That initial play is off target, but it does give them offense as Plugs. Only 13 boost will only be able to get around one player. As Savage, second touch for Savage, demoed out, but Smokescreen will allow Atomic to shoot. Dumb will be there. Plugs, 0 boost. Gets that ball out, but it's again straight to Ignition. Atomic Wrist. Ethico, ooh, ran right into him. 10 seconds to go for Ignition. Their season on the line. Now it really is at 0 seconds. Maybe one more shot for Ignition. Atomic keeping it alive. Plugs will clear this one to the ground. And New Age Wolves will move on. They'll knock Team Ignition Academy out of the Academy Series. An almost reverse sweep. An almost comeback. But almost won't be enough in the playoffs here of the Blackline Championship Series. New Age Wolves. What a tough series it was. The momentum went against them nearing the end of that matchup, but Game 5, it came down to one goal, one play. That's all they needed. And they were able to find success. What a series. That one was quite close. It is New Age Wolves who will take it. As, what a series. Again, I am impressed with that performance. Both of these teams, again, playing that lower bracket. Reminder, they still have a lot of the season to go here. Really, this is a good start for them in that lower bracket to make that run. Again, if we take a look at it right now, again, they'll be playing against FFE Triple OG in the next round of the bracket. Again, their season far from over. As you can see, so many more matches to go here after. Again, they have 5 matches in the lower bracket before they can even make it to the grand finals, so. Again, it only gets tough for these teams. I think we'll jump on in a little interview with these players. As joining us here is Dumb, Jen Bonus Inside, and Killer Eagle. A Game 5 victory to keep yourself alive in your playoff bracket run. Jen, I know you were watching that series. You didn't actually play in any of the matches, but to see your team make it, to see your team get that, you gotta tell me kind of how stressful was that for you guys, knowing that your season could have ended in that final game? Oh, wait a second. I muted you. Now you can talk.
Oh, thanks.
Man, that's tough.
It was very stressful, trying to get the team together, after each game, kind of talking with them and figuring out what we can do better. And Kami decided to step out and Plugs joined, and that was the right choice, so.
Yeah, I did notice that as well, in kind of in Game 5 about that sub change. And I want to ask, Plugs, because obviously you were you got subbed in. What was the decisioning? What was the rationale behind it? I know obviously you guys lost 2 games at that point. You were on the verge of getting reverse swept out of your season, but more specifically, kind of why? Why did you sub in for Kamikaze Mook of all people?
Uh, so a lot of the things are like feeling based. So when we play, we feel it out. If we feel like we're not playing too well, we'll swap out. It was a personal choice on Kami's part. I just said I would go in before Jen did because I was actually confident in our ability.
Well, again, you guys really brought that confidence, but I think I obviously now follow up again with the Kamikaze Mook as well. It's not been a beautiful playoff bracket, that's for sure. You guys have to play in lower round one, obviously, and again, you guys went down after an upper bracket loss to Ecliptic Soul. You won your first round against Milky Militia Scarlet too. So for you guys, you're in a very tough situation. But again, going into best of fives, this is the only best of five of this playoff bracket. So guys, as a team, how weird is it to kind of shift from best of seven, to best of five, especially when you guys probably didn't expect yourself to be here in the first place?
I think it just added more pressure because you don't have the extra game to kind of regroup. So it was good for us to take the first two games. We should try to close it out, but honestly, on game 4, I wasn't playing well, missed too many touches, so I subbed myself out. But I think having that extra game in game 7 is nice. But I think we'll be fine as long as we take it one game at a time.
Again, I'd like to hear that. Obviously, take that one game at a time. Your next game will be against FFE Triple OG, so that's going to be an interesting, matchup for you guys. That team, I'm actually trying to see. I don't think you ever played that team, but again, that's another team. That's another team that's lost, I believe, early. Yeah, they lost in that second round, so they're a solid team. They win against the Cringe Gamers, so dumb plays. I mean, for your night tonight, you get to go to play the best of sevens again against FFE Triple OG. What are you guys gonna do to make sure that you allow this lower bracket momentum to continue with you? Because you guys are gonna make a long run, and momentum is gonna be a huge part of that.
Man, we're just gonna keep playing the way that we're playing. If we play well, we realize that if we're not playing well, that we sub ourselves out, myself included. Then we'll be all right.
I kind of love to hear that as well, and obviously we'll have to end off this little interview with Killer Eagle. All of you guys are here, so all of you only get one question each. I'm sorry, but again, go up against FFE Triple OG. What are your aspirations now for the playoff bracket? Have they changed in any way? Now that you've lost, even though you won, losers round one, you have so much to go ahead of you. Have your aspirations, has your hope for the playoffs, changed at all? Has your hope for your final placement?
I really think that we just need to play it by game, telecap how we're feeling that day, how we're feeling to play, and then he chooses the starting lineup. To be honest, I think we just need to play it game by game.
Love to again. Congratulations on your win here, a preventing that reverse sweep from Ignition Academy to move on in that lower bracket. But of course, before I leave and let you guys, go celebrate. So obviously, we'll get some shoutouts here. We'll have to make this brief, just because there are so many of you. But we'll just go down the line. I think from here, we'll actually go. I think by how the roster lists you guys from bottom to top. So let's start with Dumb.
Yo, what's up, man?
I was just saying shoutouts. Any
Shout
final
out.
messages?
I appreciate it, man.
No, he says he's asking.
do you have any shoutouts?
Oh shit! Shout out to Jen
shout out to you guys as well. But do you yourself have anybody that you want to shout out?
Oh yeah! Shout out to Jen for all the mid game fucking corrections and adjustments to us, letting us know what we're doing wrong.
Of course, I will now go to Kamikaze Mook. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah, I agree with Dom. Shout out to Jen for the coaching between games, and shout out to Plugs for stepping up and making sure to close that game out for us.
Move on now to Killer Eagle. Is there anything that you'd like to say, my friend?
Shout out to you, Sporty, for streaming, obviously. Shout out to Jen for, doing everything he does. And then shout out to the New Age org for being able to have Rocket League comp teams,
Of course, and now we'll end things off with Jen. Is there anything that you'd like to say, Jen? You've been on the stream a ton, man, and, I haven't
Are you
really seen
forgetting
you
about
guys.
plugs?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Hey, you're forgetting about plugs, man.
How can I skip plugs? Plugs, is there anything that you'd like to say? Well, you know what, Jen, just for saying that, I'm going to end with you, then. you get to wait. I'm joking. Is there anything you'd like to say, plugs? I don't want to, I didn't mean to skip
Yeah,
you
I'd
there.
like to give a shout out to Ignition. They brought the heat tonight. They played some really good games. Aside from that, shout out to Jen, our captain. Shout out to you for streaming. I know I've played with you before. You're actually a lot better than I am.
That's not true anymore. I can tell you that for sure.
Sporty, be quiet. Be quiet. No.
Uh,
You are
shout
better
out-
than everybody in here.
Definitely not. Dude, I've retired. I just don't play anymore.
Oh my god.
And I always got to give a shout out to my boy Eternal Vector.
Well, of course, again, shoutouts to him. I actually don't know what's happened with him. I haven't seen him in a while. But I know he likes to be on the stream a couple of times. But we'll now end things off with Jen. Now we'll end things with you, Jen. Is there anything that you'd like to say to wrap this up?
Well, first things first, shout out to you, Sporty. Thank you for taking this last minute to cast this. It's kind of hard trying to find a caster in 3 days, especially how quick everything goes and how busy all the casters are. Shout out to Ignition Academy for having a wonderful game. Shout out to everybody here, Dum, Kami, Nathan, or Killer Eagle, if you guys know him that way, and Plugs. You guys played amazing. Looking forward to facing.
FFE Triple OG.
Yep, and hopefully that'll be a good game. And we'll just continue going on with what we got. And shout out to New Age and everybody in there. And yeah.
Of course, thank you all so much for joining. Congratulations on your win here, New Age Wolves, against Team Ignition Academy. Good luck again when you do play against Triple OG. Until then, take care, have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, peace out, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
And that was the whole roster of New Age Wolves coming in there. All of the players. It's Jen, Plugs, Killer Eagle, Kamikaze Mook, and It's Dumb. In for that little section, that little interview. But again, that's it for this matchup. Not it for the night, though, because remember, we're going to actually end the stream, but when we come back, it will be Cloudy Blue versus Golden Hour Esports Black. That will be another best of 5. We'll be in a contender series, though, a different division entirely. But again, that's it for me now. I'm going to get a raid. We'll end off our stream right now. We'll be back. We'll be live again very, very soon here, as we'll get a raid going here. As I'm trying to see. Yeah, let's go. A raid here. So again, thank you all so much for joining the Sporty stream here. Have a great night. We'll see you guys in about an hour or so. Stick around when I go live again.